everyone, it's Nicole from Backyard Bounties Homestead. I have decided to invite you into my kitchen today to make peach crisp. So I've got some peaches that I was going to make jam with, but never ended up happening. And I've got some in my freezer still since last year. Just a little background, my family and I are gluten-free. My wee son has eczema and asthma, and I found out about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, that when I took him off of gluten, he actually started to feel better. And I took him to a naturopath, and they did an IgG test and found out that he was sensitive to gluten, egg whites, oats, most nuts, mustard, and we found out we can't do Chex cereal either. I've found out since too that I have a problem with gluten and oats as well. So a lot of what I'll show you on here is gluten-free food, but if you didn't know the difference, then you probably wouldn't even know. There is a lot of people out there now that are gluten-free, and I hope you will enjoy what I'm making. And I'm one of those bakers and makers that doesn't measure very often. So I will try to give you the amounts of stuff that I'm using. So what I will be using is peaches, cornstarch, sugar, vanilla, butter, and this apple crisp mix from Panariso. It is really good. It is gluten-free. It has brown sugar, white rice flour, potato starch, tapioca starch, cinnamon, and salt. So it is a little bit of a pain sometimes doing the gluten-free, but once you get used to it, it is actually pretty good, and it makes a huge difference of the way you live. I've noticed a huge difference, and my son's eczema is hardly as bad as it used to be. So I will just start to get things ready here, and then I will get right into how to make it. Your peach, what you want your peach to peel like. Sometimes it just doesn't happen this way, but this one peels off nice and smooth. See, it comes off just in, this is from the cuts you made in the bottom, but it peels off nice and smooth. All the skin comes off at the same time, and you're not left with little bits. But it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes they get a little soft, they get a little mangled, and it's not very fun when that happens. See? Sometimes the tops don't come off as nicely, but you can just cut that part off. Sometimes the peaches get a little more cooked than the other ones, but that's just what happens. All you have to do is put them back in the water and rinse them off a little bit and cut off any parts that you don't want. Next step is to cut up your peaches. So basically all you want to do is cut the fruit away from the stone, and you can feel around where the stone is and just cut right up against the stone and cut all the bits off.
Can we help?
Yeah, you can help too. And all you do is you cut your peaches into slices. Depends on how big you want them. If you want them a little bit thicker, that's fine. If you want them a little bit thinner, that's fine too. If you want them in chunks, it's really up to you.
I have one more ticket than you.
Now I've ended up with about 8 cups of peaches, just sliced and skinned and cored. So what I will add to that is about 1.5 cups of sugar. And I just stir it around a little bit. And please don't expect your peaches to look like the nice slices of peaches that come out of the can. It's probably not going to happen. You just want your peaches to all get nicely coated with the sugar. And then to that, I will add 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. And this will be for 2 crisps, 2 peach crisps. So you just stir it all around. And in a traditional apple crisp, what you would do is you would add flour to this mix, because as you can see, it's very juicy. So the flour would thicken up the juice in the baking process. But since we're gluten-free, I will put in cornstarch. And I am using gluten-free cornstarch. When you're gluten-free, you have to watch everything because they sneak that in everywhere. So that was half a cup of cornstarch. And this will thicken it up nicely in the oven. You just need to make sure that it's all mixed in because you don't want little lumps of the cornstarch. So my son's trying to point to me that there's still little lumps. There will be a couple, but that's nothing to worry about. The only other thing on top of that I will add is a little bit of vanilla. So maybe a tablespoon of vanilla. And you just stir it all around. And now this is ready to go in the baking pan. What you do now is 1 cup of butter melted, and you add 2 of these apple crisp mix. And it says to add to melted butter, so that's what I've done. And then since we love cinnamon, I am going to add some more cinnamon to it. Probably about a tablespoon there or so. And then just mix it up. And you'll see it goes clumpy. And it makes a crumble for the top of the peach crisp. And I am just using the foil pans from the dollar store. And I think I will probably actually get 3 desserts out of this. We will see. So you just try and make sure that all the clumps are broken up here. And I think I might actually add 1 more bag of the apple crisp mix. Here is I've added 1 more bag of the Panariso apple crisp topping mix, and it has turned out much better. Before it was too wet. Now it's more of like a damp sand consistency, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. I like more of a crumble than a cake top anyways. And I think I'm gonna try and get these peaches out now and see how many desserts I can do. So I will do a cup at a time into each pan. And I have a little boy here who's drooling over this. So far I've put 2 cups into each one. And let's see. 3. There we go. Yeah, I don't think we'll have enough for 1 more, so I guess we have some extra topping on it. So I'll just split this up into the other 2, and it will just fit perfectly. And I will show you in a second what this looks like. Just hold on. So you want to get all of the juice out of the bottom too, because that's where a lot of your cornstarch and stuff is, in that liquid. So you'll take your crumble, actually spread these out smooth And I'll show you what this looks like. So that's what that looks like right there.
Be careful.
Yes, I'll be careful, thank you. So what I'll do is, just bear with me here. Sorry. Newbie here. Can you tell? So there we go. So you just take your crumble. I don't mind using my hands.
Can I try?
And you just crumble it over the top. And if there's too much crumble, I will figure out something else to do with it. But you just take handfuls and put it around the top. My wee guys are just dying over here to get their hands in this. So there you go. You just put it on the top, and I like to make sure it goes right to the edges. And what I've done is I have a baking cookie sheet, and I've put some parchment on it so that, oh, apparently someone's sticking their finger in it to get a little taste. Yeah, I know, I saw that. So
it's actually delicious.
Oh, good. So I've put a piece of parchment paper down so that if anything spills over the top, it's not going to go into the bottom of the oven, and it's not going to go into right onto my cookie sheet. So I can just pull the parchment paper right off, and in the garbage it goes. Don't mind the little fingers here. Here we go. Here's the finished product. This was in the oven for 45 minutes at 350 degrees. And it turned out nice and crispy on the top. And this is what it looks like. See, it's not too juicy or anything because of the cornstarch that we put in it. And right now it is still hot, but there you go. And you just put a little bit of whipped cream on the top. Perfect dessert. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is Nicole from Backyard Bounties Homestead. Have a great night.